creating a new pilot to get illegal truck parking off of residential streets and put them in areas where truckers and trucking companies can take advantage of new parking regulations in 24 hours a day in 8-hour increments to comply with New York City parking laws and remove themselves from residential areas. We are here in Maspeth at one of the industrial business zones. 2 others are being unveiled today in Flatlands, Brooklyn, as well as Hunts Point in the Bronx. And with us today we have Commissioner Ydanis Rodriguez, as well as Zach Miller of the Trucking Association of New York. And we will be joined by Queensborough President Donovan Richards as well. But thank you all for joining us here today, and we will be starting the program in a moment. And with that, I give you DOT Commissioner Ydanis Rodriguez.
And good morning. Morning, everyone. Buenos dias. I'm New York City DOT Commissioner Ydanis Rodriguez. I'm happy to be here in Maspeth Industrial Business Zone to begin another Commissioner in Your Borough Day in Queens. On behalf of Mayor Eric Adams, we've been investing 1 day a week, every month in each borough to bring the agency to the communities. It's great to be joined by Queensborough presidents who will be with us very soon, Donovan Richards, as well as Zach Miller, VP for Governmental Affairs for the Trucking Association of New York. We are here because too many working class and middle class communities bear the burden of illegal and dangerous residential parking by tractor trailers and other large trucks. But all New Yorkers should know that the reason why there's so trucks in our street is because there's a heavily demand of our consumers. More than 84% of New Yorkers place an order through Amazon, UPS, FedEx once a week, and 24% of New Yorkers place an order 4 times a week. So there's a lot of demand when it comes to all New Yorkers who want to get their delivered to their apartments. So we need to learn how to live, with not only the trucks, and we hope again that working with the Trucking Association, we can figure out a way of how to deal with some illegal parking or some trucks in some residential areas in our city. Truck deliveries are important to New York's economy, with nearly 90% of goods in the city moving by truck. While we are doing more to accommodate the movement freight through different means, we need safe places for trucks to park so that drivers don't park illegally in residential neighborhoods. That's why this morning we are launching our overnight truck parking pilot program on behalf of Mayor Eric Adams to provide truck operators with a convenience parking in selected industrial business zones. This will provide truck drivers with a safer place to park during mandated rest periods and will reduce illegal overnight parking. We are here on 56th Road in Maspeth to unveil one of the new overnight truck parking locations. But this morning, we are also launching this pilot in other industrial business zones in Flatlands, Fairfield in Brooklyn, and in Home Point in the Bronx. We hope this pilot program, which will last 1 year, will address several matters at once. Add meter parking for commercial vehicles that will allow trucks and tractor trailers to park in 8-hour increments. Drivers often have mandated rest periods while on the road, and this allows them to comply with city parking regulations rather than park wherever they might find a space. So that point, this will reduce the overnight truck parking in residential areas. One of the most common neighborhood complaints brought to DOT and NYPD. Mayor Eric Adams heard those complaints, and today, on his behalf, we are announcing a solution. The overnight truck parking by pay-app pilot is yet a step forward as we are offering commercial truck drivers a viable, affordable, and convenient option to park in a remote area, whether for a layover or mandate rest period. Drivers can use ParkNYC mobile app to pay, and businesses are encouraged to sign up for a Parking NYC business account to be managed centrally by a single wallet. Regulations will be in effect 24 hours a day, except Sunday when there is no cost citywide. Parking can be purchased in length 8-hour sections. Though parking turnover is always encouraged, parking can be purchased for multiple consequences 8-hour sections. Overall, this pilot is expected to incentivize truck operators to park in these designated locations in part of the city near where they were previously illegally parking, oftentimes in undeserved communities. These parking compliance also reduce ticketing these companies. DOT's freight management initiatives are at the forefront of the agency work, be it in loading zones, micro hub, or commercial cargo bikes, and beyond. I would like to thank some units and leaders of those teams today. Charles Ukebo, Assistant Commissioner for Strategic Planning, also DOT Freight Management, Stephen Solecki, Fahim Afridi, DOT Parking, David Stein, Matt Garcia, Joy Farina, Rainford Francis, and his team who installed this sign. And I would like to give a special shout out to Denise Mendez, who led the freight management team, developed DOT's first strategic freight plan, and oversaw the launch of today's initiative. Mayor Adams and I recently promoted Denise to become Assistant Commissioner. We promoted Denise Mendez to become Assistant Commissioner for Transit Development, where she now oversees the management, planning, and implementation of many complex bus lane projects and beyond. New York City DOT is fortunate to have Denise, and now, a few words in Spanish, estamos aquí hoy. Es un día muy importante porque bajo el alcalde Ydanis y nosotros estamos anunciando la primera iniciativa en la ciudad de Nueva York, donde en diferentes áreas comerciales, donde muchas veces han habido camiones que vienen a llevar la carga, que tienen que descansar, pero parcando ilegalmente en esas áreas. Hoy le estamos dando diferentes lugares donde en este programa esos camiones independientes, choferes independientes o afiliados a compañía, en este momento van a poder pagar $10 por un turno de 8 horas, parquearlo en esos lugares específicos que el Departamento de Transportación lo ha identificado bajo el alcalde Ydanis, y nosotros lo que estamos es asegurándonos, buscando solución a una realidad en la ciudad donde muchos neoyorquinos piden por Amazon, UPS, FedEx, se usan camiones para que los neoyorquinos reciban esos deliveries en su casa. Pero también sabemos que muchas comunidades de clase trabajadora y clase media se han visto afectadas por camiones parqueando en lugares residenciales, que no es aceptable. Now, let's hear from Zach Miller, Vice President and Government of the Truck Association.
Good morning. My name is Zach Miller, and I am the Vice President of Government Affairs for the Trucking Association of New York. This initiative is crucial because the current lack of safe overnight truck parking forces truck drivers to make difficult choices, either violating federal hours of service regulations or resorting to unauthorized or unsafe parking, both of which create safety and quality of life issues. By ensuring that drivers have access to designated parking during their mandated rest hours, this program not only enhances road safety, but also helps mitigate disruptions in neighborhoods affected by overnight truck parking. It supports the safe and efficient movement of freight while ensuring the needs and quality of life of local communities. We thank Commissioner Rodriguez and DOT's Office of Freight Mobility for their leadership on this crucial issue.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge Margaret for joining our first Deputy Commissioner operation. Under her leadership, these units are also are doing a great job, and all the men and women that we have here, that work very hard to be sure that DOT continue managing 25% of our land. And in those 25% of the land in New York City, we have to provide space for all the need, and one of those is the parking or truck. And I also want to acknowledge Laura Shepard, who also is a new acquisition, who comes with a lot of experience and commitment on transportation, with the next person who now is going to be addressing us, Donovan Richard, Queens Board President.
Buenos dias. Thank you, Ydanis. And good morning, Maspeth. Are we ready to take our residential streets back or what? And I really want to thank my brother, DOT Commissioner Ydanis Rodriguez, for being out in Queens this morning to launch this important program. For far too long, communities like Maspeth, Forest Hills, and Springfield Gardens have had to deal with the giant tractor trailers creating safety hazards on our roads. We've tried towing, but there simply aren't enough tow trucks. We've tried ticketing, but a lot of these big companies can eat the fines with no problem. But I think we can start to make some headway with this new overnight commercial parking program. We all know and use the ParkNYC app, so I don't want to hear companies say it's too tricky to use. I don't want to hear from residents anymore about how unsafe our streets have become, because no one should be made to feel that way. So thank you to DOT for its efforts to address this problem. It won't just save us some much-needed parking spaces when we come home from work at night. It will save lives, because we're all tired of seeing heartbreaking stories of pedestrians and cyclists being hit by trucks on residential roads. We're all tired of seeing drivers crash into tractor trailers illegally parked on the service roads of our highways. I know I'm ready for safer streets, and I'm proud to work with DOT to deliver exactly that in Queens County. I look forward to working with each and every one of you, Commissioner, on expanding this pilot. And this is a pilot, but we want to see it expanded to ensure that we can make our streets safer in the months ahead. Because this problem just isn't isolated to Maspeth. We see it all over the borough, from neighborhoods in Southeast Queens to Western Queens and beyond. And this is basically a common sense measure, and I really want to thank everybody who's made this possible. Working together, we can achieve having safer streets. Thank you.
Thank you, Donovan. No, thank you.
It's going to take a moment just for them to set up to take the sign down. I'll be doing Bailey. We can shoot. You guys can shoot from here, and then we'll do some photos afterwards, right underneath. If you want to walk across the street, don't stand.